Watch the feet, not the eyes, they say. But you can watch the feet all you like and it won't help you much. Wilfried Zaha is a special footballer and there are few like him. That's what led the legendary Alex Ferguson to sign him for Manchester United. But the disastrous tenure of David Moyes did more than set the Red Devils back a few years. It also set Zaha back too. Declaring for the Ivory Coast instead of becoming an England regular is often seen as betraying either a lack of ambition or a lack of belief that he would make it back to the top of the Premier League again, though in reality it might just be the choice of a man who feels more Ivorian than English. After all, international football isn't about career choices, it's about emotion and passion, theoretically anyway. But he almost has managed to claw his way back. He may not be on his way to the top 6 in January, but he'll be there soon enough if he keeps his form high. That's because he's a precious commodity, a tricky wide player. It sounds like such players should be 10 a penny, but they aren't. Sure, there are plenty of players with pace, but the likes of Leroy Sane and Mohamed Salah are showing the benefits of the pace to get in behind defenses, ready for through balls or even cutbacks, having lost the markers. They can beat players too, of course. So too can Raheem Sterling and Sadio Mane. There's a theme appearing. Liverpool and Manchester City are the top scoring teams in the Premier League this season, but few can do it like Zaha. Watch this clip of Zaha putting Ashley Young on toaster about 25 straight times and it's still magic. pic.twitter.com/MizOziHP Amadi at Amadwa__January 8, 2018. In fact, HES elevated it to an art form. It's one thing to beat a player with a step over and a turn of pace, but doing it in a tight space with little to no forward momentum to speak of is the purest form of beating your marker. And the more you watch it, the more you wonder how he can do such a thing. Ashley Young, a player who's been something of a revelation at fullback for Manchester United this season, wasn't in a bad position on his toes and not too tight. He was ready to get a toe on the ball and poke it away from danger. But he looked at the feet. A simple step over was enough to bewilder the former United defender. But sometimes they do that. Just temporarily bamboozling a defender with a step over doesn't mean you've beaten him. Only stunned him for a second, and Young duly recovered. He came back at Zaha. But the Ivory Coast international knows what HES doing. He understands geometry and momentum. HES done the sums and factored in body weight, possibly even wind direction. And Young is left to contemplate the futility of intellectual thought for a second time in a matter of seconds. This time there can be no recovery, no chance of redemption. And, with Young slightly off balance, Zaha knows what HES achieved, and with the same timing with which Helps performed the step over previously, he gives his opponent the coup de grace. Like in a kid's film, where the final blow is administered with a featherweight touch, Zaha ends it with the slightest push, sending the Manchester United player to the grass and palace on the way. There's no one quite like Zaha for such a move in the Premier League. His pace and his uncanny strength are obvious, but they're not unique. What's special, though, is that ability in tight spaces, that flair for getting it done from a standing start. And that's what any team in the Premier League could be doing, with adding to the ranks that ability to create something from nothing. It's January and the Manchester clubs are fighting over Alexis Sanchez. That means there are 3 clubs, Manchester United, Manchester City and Arsenal, who could be forgiven for making a money-no-object offer for a man with a special talent. It won't be long before he claws his way back to the top. And if United were to go back in for a player they've seen up close before, perhaps they'd be back at the top too. They're on the same trajectory, surely they have to meet again. Thinking of having a punt this weekend? Take a look at the coupons we've picked out on the Football Fancast ACCY show before you put your money down. First up, we've selected a Premier League goalscorer treble which offers terrific Leo Vegas boosted odds. For those who like to spread the odds across the pyramid, we've also put together a very tempting fourfold of outright wins from the EFL. Check it out and be sure to let us know what you think.